Yo, what up, Blitz Nation? Thanks for joining us for another episode on the Blitz Bros. We're going to hit up week 3. We got our Blitz Picks coming. But before we hit those Blitz Picks, we're going to recap week 2. And let's get right into it. Jordan, how about that?
I'm excited, man. Let's do it.
Let's go.
Welcome to another episode of Blitz Bros with your hosts, Ryan Carr and Jordan Norman. Let's go, Blitz Nation.
All right, welcome into another episode of the Blitz Bros. You got your host, Ryan Carr, got your co-host, Jordan Norman. What's up, my guy?
Dude, not too much, my man. Just living the dream over here. How are you doing?
Dude, not bad. Just another week getting into week 3 of football. Can you believe that, dude?
Dude, we say it every week, but man, it's going by so fast.
We do say it every week. Next week, it's going to be like week 4. Do you believe that?
Or something like that, yeah.
Dude, how does the world keep turning? We wake up and then another day and then another day happens. How's that possible?
Dude, it does seem like it's going by faster the older we get, you know? It's like already a new season. It's already, new things are happening that just happened last year. It's just crazy, right?
Yeah. Speaking of things happening, what is happening with some of these games that we just witnessed back in week 2 last week?
Dude, oh my goodness. First off, I want to say what's going on with all of these injuries. Like, it has been injury heavy. If I was going to bring up a game right now to talk about the game and injuries, it's that Cleveland game last night with Nick Chubb going out on that devastating knee injury.
Yeah, that blow to the knee, right?
Yeah, and it was the same knee he had hurt previously, like in 2016.
Oh, man.
Yeah, so severe, like I've even seen some people saying potentially career-ending is how bad it was, which is heartbreaking because I love Nick Chubb. Love the dude's
beast.
game.
He was not done. He's not finished yet. Like, that's the sucky thing.
I know. I hope he comes back with a vengeance, but I'm fairly certain he's going to be out for the rest of the season. But, dude, just stuff like that, it could happen to anyone. It could happen anytime. It's heartbreaking. Hopefully, he's able to have a good recovery. And the game just wasn't the same after that,
Mm-mm.
Freaking Steelers came back and won it.
And that's the thing. Like, you and I were in the same fantasy football league, and I'm sure a lot of people out there doing fantasy football. I think we could all agree that a lot of the running backs right now in the league are suffering. I don't know what it is. They're just not getting points. They're either injured, or their old line isn't creating holes for them, or they themselves are just not doing good.
Yeah, it's true. There are a couple notables. I mean, I'm going to say Christian McCaffrey's still having an amazing game, right?
Oh, yeah.
Brees Hall for the Jets, he's basically their offense once again.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, yeah. But I think, like, we were talking about Austin Eckler earlier. Like, he's out with, I think it was an ankle injury right now.
Yeah.
Questionable to come back. So,
yeah. Saquon Barkley injured.
Oh, yeah. They think that was just a normal lower ankle sprain. So, he shouldn't be too long coming back.
I sure hope so, because I've got him in almost all my leagues. So
no,
I sure hope so.
Him and Nick Chubb, huh?
Yeah. Well, and then you got Aaron Jones is like he's injured here and there.
Yeah.
David Montgomery, like he's injured. So
it's crazy, dude. And I think last week, not just running backs, but this last week, there was a lot of injuries across the board at a lot of different positions. So it's just been hard to see so early on, hopefully it doesn't persist, but I mean, it's the game. That's how it goes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Speaking of the game, dude, tell me some teams that have surprised you so far leading up into week 3 and some teams that have disappointed you going into week 3. I know it's only week 3, but like I heard a quote today that really hit hard. Week 1, whether you win or lose, like week 1 is a liar, week 2 is a truther. Oh. So like if you lost week 1, that doesn't necessarily define the rest of your season. But if you lose week 2, that kind of more defines like you're a losing team,
Yeah. With certain outliers, because I remember the Bengals last year went 0-2.
Yeah.
And then
of course
came back, right? But I mean, I think that's an interesting quote. To go off of that, there's 2 teams right now that I'm thinking of have greatly surprised me. And I think the first one is the Buccaneers. I did not expect them to be 2-0.
I'm so glad you said that, because I agree. Like Baker Mayfield, what?
I know.
The Bucks, what?
I know. I don't know. I was never sold out on Baker Mayfield. I obviously he's not the greatest quarterback of all time, but I don't think he's awful either.
Yeah.
But still, like the Bucks, they're a very young team right now. They have a lot of rookies that are playing really well, and I wasn't expecting that so soon. And they're going up. They're playing some good football right now, so that's been very surprising for me. What about you? What's a team you're thinking of?
A team that has really surprised me. I was gonna say Bucks. I very much agree with that. But I also want to say Falcons. The Falcons,
yeah,
coming out 2-0. I know they played some easier teams, but still, like, they were one of the worst teams in the NFL last year. I wasn't expecting them to come out 2-0 this year. That's surprising. That whole division right there. That's an interesting division right now.
Yeah, dude, and I will say, watching Bijan Robinson, the way he moves with being, how big he is, it's unbelievable. It's like fluidity. It's poetry in motion. He's got some great game, and man, it's pretty fun to watch. So I don't want to say he's their entire offense, because I do think they have quite a few good players that are surprising, but he is definitely a very impactful player, and that's been pretty cool.
Dude, I fully agree. What's another team that has surprised you?
The other team that I was thinking of is Washington Commanders.
Yes.
I said Redskins. Washington Commanders. They're also they're 2-0. Sorry.
Yeah.
They're in the NFC Beast division, who are all 2-0 except for the Giants, because they lost to their fellow division rivals, the Cowboys. But I don't know. I never expected too much from them, especially with their new quarterback, Howell.
Yeah, Sam
right?
Howell.
Yeah, like, I don't know. We didn't really know anything about him. Didn't really. We were big Heineke fans, right? We were kind of bummed when he left.
Yeah.
So we kind of just wrote that team off. But I mean, they've come out and they've played some great football as well. They've put up some points. Howell's been playing decently. I feel like I haven't seen anything bad from him potentially. So I mean, it's been surprising, and I wasn't expecting that at all this season.
Yeah. No, the Commanders, they've been showing up, but this week they've got a real tough matchup, and we'll talk about that later. So
yeah,
I don't know if they'll keep that 2-0, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the Saints also going 2-0. Like, that's pretty surprising. Like, that whole division, they're almost all 2-0.
Yeah.
But some teams that have disappointed, I want to start off with saying the Bengals.
I was going to say the same
The
thing.
Bengals have probably been the most disappointing team, the higher up team that should not be 2-0, that should not be 0-2. They are right now 0-2, and they don't have a single win going into week 3. I think that's the most disappointing team so far.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people thought they'd be going, either deep in the playoffs or back to the Super Bowl, Joe Burrow hasn't quite been healthy. He kind of injured himself in the preseason before games officially started, and their O-line's been terrible, and that's just a recipe for disaster right now. So
yeah,
it's pretty sad to see, because I think they have a pretty good defense too, but it's still, they're not enough to win games. So is it Joe Burrow? I mean, obviously Joe Burrow's injured, but like, that's affecting his gameplay. It's got to be, because he is not playing to his full capacity. Yeah, well, remember his first season, whenever he first came in the league, and they had a terrible O-line, probably worse than they have right now. And, he's fresh in the league, trying to get used to everything, and he ends up trying to do a lot on his own and ends up tearing his ACL, and it's you can't expect that from your quarterback all day, every day, forever, especially when the dude's already got, a pulled calf muscle. So, I mean, I don't want to say there's no blame on him either, but it's hard in that certain situation. But.
Yeah. I think I heard a stat today. Correct me if I'm wrong. This stat might not be fully correct, but I don't think ever in history, and again, I could be wrong, that a team starting off 0-2 has come back to go into the Super Bowl and win the Super Bowl.
Interesting.
So I'm sorry for all of these 0-2 teams. I mean, it could always change. We could always have a first time for everything. But so far, I don't think ever has an 0-2 team come and win a Super Bowl.
Yeah, so, that's fair. Dude, two other 0-2 teams I wanted to talk about that have been disappointing. Maybe this isn't going to surprise you, but the Chargers have been disappointing. And I've never been a big fan of their head coach. I think he's really bad at winning close games. He often loses close games. Yeah. And both of their first 2 games were within like 3 points, which is, this is kind of how he is. It's kind of a sign of not a very good head coach. So I don't know how long he's going to last, Staley over there at the Chargers, but that's been pretty disappointing. And then the other team is the Vikings.
Yeah,
I think they have a lot of offensive power, and
I had high hopes for them this year.
Yeah.
And right now I'm like, where are you guys?
Dude, and the thing is, Yeah, they're firing on many cylinders. You know,
Yeah.
Kirk Cousins is like blowing it up as far as passing yards, and Justin Jefferson's still playing pretty well. But for whatever reason, they just can't win games.
Yeah, they can't close them.
Yeah.
So,
Granted, like we said, it's week 2, but still, you know, they don't seem like an 0-2 team.
yeah, you need teams like them. They need to be starting off the season hot. You can't just come in 0-2 and then go turn it around. Like,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
I don't know, but another team. It's a smaller team. We didn't expect much from this team, but I also didn't expect the Bears to be 0-2. Like, I don't expect much from them this year, but I'm also like, Justin Fields, do something, like win a game. I know it's only week 2, only 2 games have gone by, but still, like,
Yeah.
I'm a little disappointed in the Bears so far this season.
Yeah, because you want to see them at least trending in the right direction, you know?
Yeah.
And it doesn't seem like anything's happening. I think a good example right now, well, first you had the Bengals, you know, they were absolutely terrible. They got Joe Burrow, and then they slowly each year got better and better, right? Another good example right now is the Jaguars. They were terrible. They got Trevor Lawrence, and I think this year they're certainly going to be in the playoffs, right?
I have high hopes for them, yeah.
Yeah, so that's another team, you know, they were terrible. They made some good moves, got a new quarterback, and they just started getting better and better each season. And the Bears just haven't done that. And I can't say it's purely Justin Fields' fault. I think, you know, he's not the best quarterback. He makes some pretty terrible throws. He makes some pretty good throws too, though. But I mean, there's also other quarterbacks that are just average who do better each season. So I think it's just more coaches and stuff. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, you're good. My biggest thing with Justin Fields right now, and I've noticed almost every time I watch him play, he sits in the pocket too long. Okay. He holds the ball in the pocket too long. He needs to get it out faster or run out of the pocket and move around. He does that often, but he's getting sacked way too much. He's holding the ball way too long, in my opinion.
No, that's a very good point. I think last season he had one of the slowest releases out of any quarterback in the league, and I haven't looked at the stats this season.
I haven't seen much of a change.
Yeah, I mean, you expect in the offseason that should be an identified problem, and they should specifically work on that, because it's actually a big deal when you're in the NFL. You know, it's those little things that make big things happen. So that's a very good point. You know, maybe he hasn't progressed. Maybe it is partially him for sure.
If you watch the game this week, watch that. He will get sacked way too many times because he's holding the ball too long.
Yeah.
So that's what I've noticed. But
that's a good point.
Some disappointing teams, but also some surprising teams that just kind of came out of the blue, and we'll see how far they can keep this undefeated status going. Next week we should come in and predict 2 or 3 teams who we think will go the farthest with being undefeated.
Oh, that's fun. Yeah,
because right now we have a handful of teams that are still undefeated. So
yeah, usually it goes into like at least week 8 or something. Yeah, you know, I think the Eagles went pretty far last year.
Yeah, so did the Steelers like last year or the year before. So we'll see who carries it the longest and how far they go. We'll come with that next week.
We'll do that that's a good week 4 plan.
Yeah, for sure.
I think there's one more game that I do want to mention that was very surprising in a good way, and it was the Seahawks.
Dude, I'm so glad you brought that up. I'm so glad. I was just gonna say, bro, was that a game?
Dude, I was very happy
overtime,
for your Seahawks.
Overtime, 31-31.
Yeah.
And Geno hitting Tyler Lockett in the end zone. Ooh.
I still stand by. I think Tyler Lockett is my favorite receiver in the NFL right now, and he has been for a long time. I think he's a great guy, and he's a fantastic receiver. He's very, very reliable.
Very reliable. He's a fantastic route runner too. Like, he makes people miss him, and he's just that little guy that you just don't really pay attention to, but he's always open. He's always fast. He always catches the ball. Like, he's a deep bomb threat. Like,
yeah,
man,
I know.
That guy's a stud. He's got like he's really good on his toes, like catching the ball in the end zone, like that toe drag swag is what they call it.
Yeah.
Dude,
and I love to see Geno Smith, you know, I was about to say hooking up with him, you know, connecting with them pretty well, you know, like it's fun to see Geno Smith carrying over the progress that he made from last season as well, you know.
Yep.
So we both picked Lions to win that game because logically we thought they would.
Well, Seahawks went into that game unfortunately underdogs. So
yeah, well, it was a home game for the Detroit Lions too, so it's always hard to go into someone else's house and win.
Yeah, that was a great game by both sides, but I wasn't expecting that. But dang, was I proud to see the Seahawks win that game.
Yeah,
and like I said, week 1, week one's a liar, and Seahawks lost week one. It's like they played terrible, but week two they came back and won and should get back onto things going forward. I'm not going to say they're going to win all the games going forward, but they got the week one loss out of the way. Now they can go forward and play strong.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, I'm with you there, dude. That was a great game.
yeah.
Should we talk about my Cowboys, or is it not worth it?
Bring it up. Cowboys tearing up the Jets. I mean, that was a great game.
Dude, a lot of people are saying they're the best team in the league right now. I mean, I'm not going to get on that fantasy train right now just because I don't want to jinx it.
You don't want to get your hopes up.
I definitely think they're a top 2 to 3 team in the league right now.
I'd say in the NFC, they're a top team. 100%.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
Overall, we got to see. We'll see.
I think this is going to be a very NFC heavy year. I think a lot of the really good teams are in the NFC. I could see this being like a Cowboys 49ers NFC championship, and whoever wins that game wins the Super Bowl.
I 100% agree with that.
But,
I would love to see Cowboys in the NFC championship, and I would love to see any of these surprising teams in the NFC championship. Yeah. So we'll see. Do we think the Eagles are going to make it all the way back?
I still think they're a threat.
They're good, but they haven't really done anything crazy for me to be like, oh, they're going all the way so far. I know it's only week 3, but they haven't done anything in these last 2 games that made me like, wow, the Eagles are back, you know.
The worry is that they didn't actually get better from last season, right?
Yeah.
And so,
like other teams did.
Yeah, like we can't say that they definitely got worse, but there's no proof that they've gotten better as of right now.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
I mean, right now they're 2-0. They're undefeated. But with the games that they've played, I haven't been like, they destroyed that team. Like, they're all pretty close games.
Yeah.
So
I'm excited for their matchup with the Cowboys. I think that'll be a very good game to show where we're really at, you know.
Yeah, 100%. Dude, and how about the Dolphins? Sunday Night Football. Dude, Tua and the Dolphins. Tua won't say it's him. He said in the postgame interview it's not just him. But I would say Tua is undefeated to Belichick. He is 5-0 to Belichick. Isn't that crazy?
Dude, that's pretty impressive. That's hard to do. I don't think there's many, if any, quarterbacks that can say the same thing, you know?
Tua is undefeated to Belichick. That's impressive. I'm excited for that. I'm all about that. Dolphins are undefeated. They're 2-0 going into week 3. And I'm really proud. I'm proud for the Dolphins. Like, that's I don't want to say surprising team because I was hoping for that.
Yeah.
But I'm happy that it's coming true.
I mean, I would say I'm surprised that Tua is playing as well as he is. I mean, they had a very good Dolphins team last year, and he was still making tons of mistakes. Plus, he was injured a lot, right?
Yeah.
So I'm surprised that he's playing so well. I think much better than last year even. Yeah, and the injuries haven't happened yet. So
yeah. I think a healthy Tua and a healthy Dolphins team can go deep into the season.
Yeah, probably the biggest AFC threat, right? They're probably the best team in the AFC.
Definitely right now for sure.
Yeah.
That was a good game.
No, they're a fun team to watch.
Also, I gotta ask you, side question, like a side note, why are we getting 2 Monday Night Football games now? Do you know?
I don't know, dude.
There's
probably a good reason.
Last week we had 2. This week coming up, we've got 2 Monday night games. I have no idea. I'm not complaining.
No.
But I also have no idea why, you know?
I wonder if it's because they made that new deal with YouTube, if that was some part of the negotiation agreement or whatever.
I mean, I'm not complaining. I'm just confused.
Or I was going to ask, I need to look this up. Is one of the Monday night games now, you know how like Thursday night games, it's always on Prime for free if you have Amazon Prime? Is one of the Monday night games that way now with a different streaming service?
I know both Monday night games are on YouTube TV, so...
Yeah, if you have YouTube TV. So both of them are. It wasn't one somewhere else.
Yeah, both of them are, so...
So that's the only answer I would have is YouTube TV. They decided that that's what they wanted. But...
Interesting.
I don't know. Yeah, it's new. All right, Ryan, we could talk about these last games all day because they were so good, but I'm excited.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay, stay with us for another few hours, guys.
Yeah.
But I think the fans and you and I are both excited to talk about our weekly Blitz Picks for Week 3 football. Let's do it.
It's time for your weekly picks on the Blitz Bros.
All right, guys, thanks for joining us on the weekly Blitz Picks with the Blitz Bros. Jordan, game 1, we got Thursday Night Football, the Giants versus the 49ers. My guy, who do you got winning?
Dude, I didn't really think too hard about this one. I'm going to go with
Do you ever think hard, though?
Not really. I kind of save that for when I'm, playing Pokemon or something. So I don't know, dude. Does this seem like a hard decision for you, San Francisco versus the Giants?
Not the way the Giants have been playing. Even though they did have that comeback win last week, that still wasn't enough to impress me.
Against the Cardinals.
Against the Cardinals.
Who have been a little surprising that they've been playing as well as they have, but still.
Cardinals haven't won a game yet, but they did play nice against the Giants. So that wasn't enough for me to be like, Giants are back. So no, I didn't think hard about this. San Francisco all the way winning this game Thursday night. It's a full house, San Francisco. We got the Blitz Nation also chose 49ers.
All right, so next game we've got the Colts playing the Ravens at the Ravens. This one didn't seem too difficult of a pick for me. I went with Baltimore here. There is a stipulation. Anthony Richardson, he's out, right? He's on concussion protocol. As of this recording, it's still questionable if he'll be playing week 3. I don't think that's going to sway my decision here, though, if he plays or if he doesn't. Even though Gardner Minshew didn't do too bad, I still am going to choose the Baltimore Ravens to win this one.
I fully agree with you. Anthony Richardson, he's been one of the rookies that has surprised me the most so far.
Yeah.
I really wish he would have finished that game just to get more on his resume. But I hope he's back this game, Anthony Richardson. But if he's not, whether he is or isn't, I agree. I still think the Ravens win this. And the Blitz Nation would also agree. We got a full house Ravens.
Dude, and just to say a thing about Anthony Richardson, I don't think there's any rookie quarterback in the league right now that's playing with as much heart as Anthony Richardson. That dude
I agree.
Is showing that he wants to win, and I'm here for it. I love it.
And I can't wait for him to start winning more games. Like, this is awesome.
Yeah, just got to take care of your body a little bit more, man. But, yeah, I'm with you. All right, next game, another one. This might be a snoozer. We got Denver Broncos at the Miami Dolphins. This is obviously going to be Denver winning this game.
I'm just kidding. Obviously. Dude, I'm saying this now, and I don't unfortunately I don't think I can make this happen, but I wish I could go to this game. 1, just to see Tua play, and 2, to see my guy Russell Wilson play in person. Like, that's always been a dream of mine, to see Russ play in person.
How far do you live from the stadium?
This would be the game to go. I like 2 hours.
Oh, that's not bad at all. That's doable.
I just gotta, not at all. I just gotta see how much the tickets are and if I can make it there in time or not. Like, because I got stuff going on this weekend. But that would be a dope game to go to, and I can report back to you guys if I can go. That would be dope.
Those are some big ifs, yeah.
Those are some big ifs, but I also got Dolphins winning this. Blitz Nation also has Dolphins winning this.
Yeah, these ones weren't too hard. But, dude, tell me about the next game. What's going on?
Next game, we got the Patriots at Jets. A divisional game. Divisional games are tough. Zach Wilson coming in, playing in place of Aaron Rodgers. Oh, dude. Am I switching my pick right now?
Oh, man. Are you talking yourself into changing? What are you thinking? What's on your mind? Tell me who you picked originally.
Right now, I have Jets winning this.
Okay.
I might consider switching to the Patriots. Only because...
It's a home game for the Jets.
It's home game for Jets. But Mac Jones, I'm not the biggest believer in Mac Jones, but Mac Jones has been playing pretty hot.
He's throwing the ball pretty well right now.
It just, the Jets defense makes me the most nervous against Mac Jones, but I don't see Patriots going 0-3 after this week. Tell me your pick, and then I'll...
You also got to remember, Bill Belichick, he's a very defensively minded head coach. I think he's very good at reading defenses and understanding how to beat them.
Well, the thing is, do we think Bill Belichick is going to let Zach Wilson come in and beat the Patriots?
I picked the Patriots to win this game. I don't think the Jets are going to be able to pull off that win with Zach Wilson. I think Zach Wilson's a bit of a butthole.
I think you just offended our friend Caleb.
Oh yeah,
dude. Speaking of Zach Wilson, I learned this today from our friend Caleb. Guess what Zach Wilson's middle name is?
Oh gosh, is it Dingleberry?
You are so close. It is. Let me pull it up right here. You would never guess this. It's Capono.
What is that?
Zachary Capono Wilson.
That's got to be a family name, right?
Kapono. Capono.
Is that like Italian?
I don't even know. It's like it sounds like the mafia. Capono.
I don't want to
Zachary?
I don't want to hate on any of those Caponos that are out there, but man,
Yeah,
I wouldn't
don't
expect that
come
from
at
Zach
us.
Wilson.
I don't know. Do we think Mr. Capono could take on the Pats? Blitz Nation says Patriots on this. You
I
say
said
Patriots.
I mean, I'm not fully comfortable with it because I do think Jets have a fantastic defense, and Mac Jones is probably going to throw at least one pick. But do I think the Jets offense can pull off anything here? I don't know. They can't just rely on Breece Hall all day, every day.
I'm sticking with my pick.
All right.
I'm a lone wolf. I'm sticking with the Jets. This is. I'm sticking with my boy Zach Wilson over here. Capono. Capono's taking the dub. I'm feeling it.
Yeah, and honestly, if the Jets win, I'd be happy. I hate the Patriots, but we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah. I think Jets overall is a better team, but we'll see.
Yeah, and I think they have a good coach. I will say, I think Robert Saleh is doing a good job. He just doesn't have a lot to work with right now on offense. So, dude, next game.
This was a dud for me. This was we got Houston versus Jacksonville. The Jags. I've got Jags win this.
Without a question here, man. I think I could put my money on this and come away pretty comfortable.
I feel bad for C.J. Stroud, but
he did have a good game last week, though.
He did.
He threw really well. Mm-hmm. So, and he ran a little bit too. So I was happy for him.
He played better for sure last week. But the Jags defense is, I'd say, top 5.
Okay.
In the league. I love the Jags defense. And I don't think that they're gonna let up on the Texans, and Blitz Nation would agree with that. So
yeah, I think we're all kind of in the same boat there. Jacksonville's probably going to win this pretty comfortably. But I will say, I think C.J. Stroud, I think he's got potential, and I'm happy that he's playing so well this early.
Yeah,
you know,
I'd agree with you on that. Yeah.
So I think this will be a good learning moment for him because he's going to lose. But
yeah. Next game we got Titans versus the Browns.
Dude, this was a bit of a challenge, right?
This was tough for me because they're both 1-1. Their record is 1-1, and they're both like mid-level, maybe above mid and high. They're like in between mid and high. They're both like decent teams, but not enough for me. But I think I chose the better one. I went Browns on this. I think Deshaun Watson is playing a little better. I think the Browns are playing a little better defense. I think they got better weapons. Amari Cooper has been on fire. Blitz Nation, they went Titans.
Dude, this was a hard one for me, and I'm not going to lie. Mostly because now they don't have Nick Chubb, and he was a very big part of their offense, right?
I didn't even think about that when choosing this pick.
It's such a big deal. I just saw a thing today that they're meeting again with Kareem Hunt to potentially sign him again.
I would be very surprised if they did not pick up Kareem Hunt.
I mean, they need someone, and he's a great... Yeah.
That's what they need to do. Completely honest, they need to pick up Kareem Hunt.
I don't think he's Nick Chubb. I think he's
a
great running back, but I don't think he's Nick Chubb. And here's the other thing. I think if you would have asked me, like, for every single game or every single week from here on out, I probably wouldn't have picked the Titans. For whatever reason, I always think that they are just going to suck. But they went out and they won that game last week, and I was very surprised. And I think they showed me that they're better than I expected them to be. They still have Derrick Henry, you know. They still have some good players. So, I mean, I can't fully say that the Tennessee Titans aren't a threat. So, do we think that there's a chance they go into
the way that they played the Chargers last week? I agree with you on that, but I think the Browns are firing on higher cylinders. Even with Nick Chubb out, I think their second string, Ford, I forget his first name, but Ford, I think it's like TJ Ford or JT Ford.
I thought it was Henry Ford.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, damn joke.
No, he's white.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. No, I think even with JT Ford playing in the backfield, even if they sign Kareem Hunt, I think Browns got this. This is my opinion, but who do you have? You have Titans?
No, I went Browns as well, but I mean, I won't say it wasn't a difficult pick for me.
Okay, I'm surprised you went Browns after that pitch you just gave me.
That was my whole thought process, man. I did almost go Titans. I really did.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I don't know.
That'll be a close one. I wouldn't be surprised. Dude, as of right now, I have all home games winning this week so far.
Really?
Up until right now, they're all home teams.
Oh. So I know who you're going to pick then for this next game.
Well, we'll see. Next game, we got the Falcons versus Detroit Lions.
Are you going
Was this
Falcons
tough?
on this?
Was this tough for you?
Dude, this was a tough one as well. I'm not
Really?
gonna lie. I went Lions here. I think I have more faith in the Lions, but Atlanta has surprised me, and I think they've got more players on offense than I expected. And Desmond Ritter's playing pretty well. And dude, you gotta come out ready to stop Bijan Robinson. That dude will juke and shift and run down your throat.
Yeah. I think Detroit losing to the Seahawks last week I think it's going to reawaken them. And I think this is where it stops for the Falcons to go undefeated. I chose Lions as well this week.
All right.
And they're also a home team. And the Blitz Nation also chose Lions. We got a full house Lions, but Atlanta, I think they're going to put up a fight.
I think they can make it a good game. But I'm with you.
Yeah. Next game,
yeah.
Saints versus Packers. Who do you have?
This was slightly challenging because Packers went out and they lost last week when I had picked them to win. Mm-hmm. And Saints are undefeated. 2-0. So I went Saints here. I think they could potentially go in. They have more experience, is what I brought it down to. I think as a whole, they have a little bit more experience. Jordan Love, he's still working to getting into those shoes, those big boy shoes. So, I mean, I could be surprised, but I went with Saints here. I don't know what you think.
Yeah, I'm just looking to see who the Packers played last week. Oh, yeah, the Falcons. And they lost to the Falcons.
By like 1 point, right? Wasn't it like 24?
By
25?
1 point.
Yeah.
This one was tough for me. This was honestly, surprisingly, the hardest pick for me this week. I don't know
really?
why, but it was the hardest pick out of all the picks this week. This game, because, yes, the Saints are 2-0, but I don't believe in them enough to be a 2-0 team. The Packers, I don't believe in them enough as a whole to take out the Saints, but I'm just like, this is tough. I think the Packers are the underdogs in this game, and I think they sneak out a dub on this one.
Oh, so you picked Packers here, huh?
I picked Packers. I think the Saints overall are a better team, like you said, but I'm kind of getting a little lucky here, and I think the Packers come out and sneak this dub away from the Saints to end their undefeated streak. It's a home game for Packers, but oh wow. Blitz Nation also chose Packers on
Interesting. All right.
That is
I'll be the
very
lone wolf
interesting.
here.
You're the lone wolf.
I did think it was a difficult pick, and at the end of the day, these are both going to be mid-level teams. I don't think they're going to really make a big impact in the postseason, but it's interesting to see how it'll shift out till we get there. So we'll see what happens. But I'm excited to prove you guys wrong.
All right, next game we got Buffalo Bills versus the Washington Commanders.
Man, I think this is where Washington's 2-0 streak gets snapped, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think Buffalo, they came out, they didn't score first in their game against the Raiders. Remember, the Raiders scored first, and I was a little worried. I was like, okay, maybe Buffalo is not
I think we all
anything,
were,
yeah, what we thought they were. And then they went out and won it like 38-10, so I think Buffalo, they're going to come out with a vengeance. It's a home game for Washington, but that doesn't mean much because it's kind of, it's a crappy situation there right now. So I'm going to go Buffalo here, probably pretty comfortably. Even though Chase Young's back, it's fun to see him back. He's playing pretty well.
Is he finally back?
Yeah, he played last week.
Wow.
I know.
Okay.
Good for him.
We'll see how long he's back for.
I know. I'm actually rooting for the dude. I really am. But I'm going to go with Bills here. What about you?
Yeah. No, Commanders, they're showing us a lot. They're showing us that they know how to win, that they can win. But I agree. I think this is where it snaps for them. I took Buffalo. Blitz Nation also took Bills. So we got a full house Bills. I think that's how it's going to end up. Next game. This was probably another one of the hardest ones.
I think this was the hardest for me. This next game was the hardest for me. Yeah.
Yes. I could be swayed either way. Sway me on what team you think is going to win this game.
Dude, I don't really have a good reason for my pick. I don't think either of these teams. So it's the Chargers against the Vikings. Home game for the Vikings. I don't think either team is a true 0-3 team. I really don't.
That's the hard thing. It's like at the end of this game, one of them is going to go 0-3, and I don't think either of these teams deserve that.
I'm calling it now. It's going to be a tie. No, dude. So here's my thing. So I ended up choosing Minnesota. I think Kirk Cousins and Justin Jefferson connection is probably more superior than any connection that the Chargers have. And as I've said before, I don't think the Chargers head coach has the ability to win close games. For for whatever reason, I don't think he game plans well enough. So in this situation where I think both teams are much better than the record shows, I'm going to go down to the Minnesota Vikings to win it. But it could be a close game.
Yeah, Blitz Nation chose Chargers.
Okay.
I, on the other hand, I chose Chargers as well.
Oh, man. That's okay.
This game could honestly go either way. I think Chargers. I think Justin Herbert is the better quarterback overall. But I agree with you. I think Kirk Cousins. I love Kirk Cousins. Huge fan of his.
Yeah.
I think his connection with like you said, his connection with Justin Jefferson is unlike no other. But if Austin Eckler is healthy coming into this game, I think they've got a way better run game.
Yeah.
And run game can sometimes beat an air game, sometimes with how they use the clock. I think the Chargers defense is a little better than the Vikings. But I don't know. We'll see. This will be a tough game. It'll be a good game to watch for sure. It'll probably be a low-scoring game, but I've got Chargers taking this too.
That's another really hard stadium to go in and play at. Minnesota have some very loyal and loud fans. So that's another reason I was thinking Minnesota, but you could be right. I could be wrong. We'll just
I know I'm right.
See. Yeah.
Dude, tell me this next game. Was this hard for you?
Dude, I'm always... No.
Who do we got? Who is it?
Okay, we got the Carolina Panthers at the Seattle Sea Chickens, and I don't think this was even a question. I'm just kidding. I would never diss them like that. Seahawks, I think, are going to comfortably win this one.
You would think. You hope.
I think Bryce Young, he's another one I think he's playing well for a rookie. I don't think he's playing horribly. He's not like a Zach Wilson or anything. And I think he's got potential. He's got a ceiling that I think he'll hopefully reach here in the next few seasons. But right now, they're not it. And I think Seahawks should comfortably win this game.
I agree with you. I went Seahawks, no question asked. And Blitz Nation also went Seahawks. We got a full house Seahawks. My question is for you. So going into the next game, we got the Bears versus Chiefs. The Bears are 0-2. The Panthers are 0-2. Who do you think goes 1-2 first?
Oh, man. Honestly, it's probably sad, but I'm going to go Panthers, to be honest.
You think the Panthers are going to get a first win over Bears first?
And I have no disrespect for the Bears. I love Justin Fields. I really want him to succeed. Mm-hmm. But I just haven't seen it, and I don't think it's just him. I think it's his supporting staff. I think it's his coaches and his, general managers. I don't think they're building the team that he needs to succeed. And so because of that, I'm going to go with Panthers. I think they have a better chance of helping Bryce Young, whereas the Bears have shown that they're incapable almost of helping Justin Fields.
No, I fully agree with that. Like the Bears, I've chosen the Bears 2 weeks in a row, and they've dropped the ball on me twice. The same thing happened to me last season. Do you remember?
Yeah.
I would choose the Bears.
No, I was with you. I did it last season,
I chose the Bears so many freaking times last year, and they dropped the ball on me every single time.
And then we just stopped picking them overall because they won like 3 games last season.
Yeah, 3 overall, 2 or 3. So
I think they were like 2-0 or something, and then they lost every game after that.
So right now they're 0-2. They're playing the Chiefs. I am not picking the Bears. I went Chiefs on this one. Chiefs are home. Blitz Nation also went Chiefs. I think you'd have to be crazy lucky to choose the Bears in this game.
No, yeah. This was probably the most lopsided game in the entire week with respect to the game after. So I also went Chiefs on this one.
Nice.
But, dude, the game after, my Cowboys versus our boy Caleb's Arizona Cardinals, who are playing a little bit better than we expected. They lost to the Giants, and we beat Giants 40-0. So you do the math. I'm gonna say it's gonna be a Cowboys win, flying the flag home.
Just saying, there's no way the Cardinals come and win this game. But dude, don't let it happen. Okay, Cowboys, don't let that happen. Don't mess this up. Don't mess this up.
I couldn't let Caleb and Jed hang that over me for the rest of the season. That would be so embarrassing. I'd probably not talk to them ever again.
Don't let this happen. So yeah, we got a full house Cowboys. Next game, Sunday Night Football, which is kind of underwhelming. I don't know why this is Sunday Night Football, but we got the Steelers versus the Raiders.
This was actually another hard one for me.
Yeah, it's a little tough.
Yeah, they're both I'd say below average teams. They're both 1-1. I went with my team. We should say who we picked at the same time.
Okay. Ready, set, Steelers.
Pittsburgh.
I don't know if you're lagging or if you totally didn't.
I was like, it's like 1, 2, 3 or 1, 2, 3 shoot. I did it.
Oh, you're good.
Anyway.
Let's try it again. Ready, set.
Wait, really?
No.
Oh. No, I guess we both chose the Steelers. What's your thoughts here?
I think my most frustrating thing about the Steelers right now, and you could probably put this more in the fantasy category, Najee Harris, I have him, the running back, in almost all of my fantasy football leagues, and he is the biggest dud right now, not getting me anything.
Yeah.
So Pittsburgh running game is very subpar. Well, same with the Raiders. Oh my gosh, I think in our league I have Josh Jacobs and Najee Harris.
Wait,
both?
No, I have Josh Jacobs in our league because remember I stole him from you.
You're right. Okay, in one of my other leagues, I have both of these running backs, and they're both duds right now.
Yeah,
they're both very frustrating. So both of the run games on both of these teams are not doing good. But I think Pittsburgh's receiving core has been showing a lot more juice, even though the Raiders have Devontae Adams. I think the Pittsburgh's defense is on fire right now.
Absolutely. So, I think TJ Watt's on track to get like 34 sacks right now, like that. Which is ridiculous. I think the record is like 24 or something.
Yeah. So I think Pittsburgh's defense is going to shut this game down.
That's what came down to me deciding. Here's a question for you, though. Would you rather have, in their current states, Jimmy Garoppolo or Kenny Pickett? Right now. Jimmy Garoppolo is much older, more experienced.
He's been to a Super Bowl. Yeah. That's tough because
Kenny Pickett is young. He's big. He can run a little bit, but...
That's tough because I don't like Jimmy G. I think anyone that knows me knows I don't like Jimmy G. But I'm not a believer in Kenny Pickett.
Yeah, I'm with you, dude. I'm with you.
I'm not a believer in Kenny Pickett. He's shown some signs of some hot throws, really like bombing it to George Pickens. But I'd have to choose Jimmy G on that comparison.
That's saying a lot coming from you as well. Yeah. I don't think Kenny Pickett is going to be their long-term solution, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But they're going to have to figure something out. I think, the two things that came down to me, sorry to harp on this, is defense for Pittsburgh and coaching. I think Mike Tomlin, I said this last week, I still think he's one of the best coaches in the NFL. Mm-hmm. And I think he'll be able to come together with some game plan to stop Las Vegas. So we'll see what happens. But what did Blitz say? Was Blitz Pittsburgh?
Blitz Nation also went Pittsburgh, yeah.
Okay.
Full house, Sunday Night Football.
We've all been wrong before, but...
Yeah, I haven't been wrong yet. I'm still undefeated.
You don't know what it's like yet. You'll see.
Yeah. Monday Night Football. We got, again, 2 games for Monday Night Football. We got Philly versus Tampa Bay. We'll start with that one. The Eagles versus Bucks. Who do you got? This one was actually tough. Kind of, because I think I went with the underdogs here. But
no way!
I want to hear what you say. Yeah.
So this one wasn't too hard for me. I think beginning of this episode we did talk about how the Buccaneers they've been surprising. Like we didn't expect them to go 2-0. Their rookies are playing really well. They've been coming out. Baker Mayfield's been slinging it and playing really well. I think Philadelphia is going to be the hardest team they're going to play against so far. And I think they're going to show them up. I think Philly's still a really good team, top 5 team in the league, top 3 team in the league maybe. So I have Philly winning this game pretty comfortably.
I would agree with you on that, except I didn't choose that.
Oh, no.
I chose Bucks.
And chose the wrong team.
I chose Bucks not just because I live close to Tampa, not just because I'm a Bucks fan, but this is my tester. I'm putting faith in this team because this team was not supposed to be a good team this season at all. They're 2-0. I hope that streak doesn't snap. If the Bucks, what I'm saying is, if the Bucks can beat the Eagles, I think would that prove it to you that the Bucks are the real deal? Would that be enough to prove it to you?
I think it absolutely would make a huge point.
Yeah. I don't know about playoff team yet. I wouldn't go that far, but I'm just saying if the Bucks can beat the Eagles in Monday Night Football at home, I think they're the real deal. I don't think these two dubs that they have right now, I don't think they're fake.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Hypothetically, let's say the Jets with Zach Wilson went out and beat the Bills. Would you say that means the Jets are a real team?
That was week 1.
Because that actually happened.
That actually happened, but that was week 1, and I'm a firm believer on week 1 games are not real.
Okay.
So even though it was a crazy game, this is week 3. They both have 2-0 records, Eagles and Bucks. I could easily see the Eagles winning this game, but I'm taking that crazy pick over here. I'm picking the Bucks because if this win happens, I think the Bucks are the real deal. Bucks defense has been playing pretty decent. Baker Mayfield surprisingly has been playing very well, and they are a cohesive. They have their units together. They have their things figured out so far, and it's a home game and it's prime time. I think the Bucks have everything that they need to win this game. Will they do it? I'm saying yes.
Dude, that's a very hot take, so I'm excited
to hear. It's a ballsy take. I am a lone wolf on this pick because Blitz Nation went Eagles. So I just thought I'd be a little ballsy. So
is Tampa Bay, is that closer to you than the Dolphins?
Than Miami? Yeah, by about 20 minutes.
Oh, man. So you got 2 stadiums within 2 hours. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So I'm in Fort Myers, so 2 hours north, or an hour 45 is the Bucks. And then 2 hours and 15 minutes east and south a little bit is Miami. So I'm right in between both.
So you can go to both these games. One Sunday and one Monday.
Yeah, I literally could. Sunday I'm going to Dolphins. Monday I'm going to the Bucks. Let's do it.
And then, dude, one of these days you'll have to make it over to Jacksonville, which is probably a little bit further away.
Yeah, that's about 5 hours away.
Yeah.
But
so yeah, dude, that's a hot take right there. I don't think you're gonna be right. But
dude, imagine me texting you Monday night and being like, bro, suck it all you guys can suck it because I just won.
Taking that opinion into account, I now think that the Philadelphia Eagles will only win by 21 points rather than 28.
Okay. I can't wait to prove you wrong with my Bucks, but also let's not bring it up if I lose very bad next week. I'm just trying to.
You've never been wrong before, huh?
I'm trying to be interesting over here.
All right, no, I appreciate it.
But no, next game to end week 3, we got the Rams versus the Bengals. Bengals are 0-2, Rams are 1-1. Rams' run game is showing up. Their passing game is showing up.
Yeah.
Their defense is decent, but the Bengals have not showed up at all.
Dude, what's that new receiver, that rookie receiver for the Rams?
It's Puka
Nakuna. Yeah.
Puka Nakuna.
Dude, he is making waves, man, right?
What a beast. I'm so mad I didn't pick him up in fantasy this year, dude. I had every opportunity to, and I didn't.
But who would have known,
Exactly.
He's been crazy. He went to BYU?
Yeah, he's a BYU alum, yeah.
Yeah, I remember watching him in college last year.
My girlfriend actually brought that out to me, and she doesn't watch football.
Oh, really?
And I was like, how did you know? She's like, because I'm cooler, so I guess.
That's what they talk about in the ICU, I guess.
Yeah, I guess.
No, good for him, though.
Yeah, no, Rams have been, it's kind of making me nervous as a Seahawks fan, but they've got a decent team. But who do you have winning this game, though? I'm curious.
Dude, I don't know if this is a hot take or not. I don't actually know who's favored to win, but I went Rams on this. Mostly because Joe Burrow's not his full self. Their O-line sucks.
Is Joe Burrow back?
I think he's still questionable. So I don't think we have an answer of how he's actually doing. I think he's going to play, but, I don't think he'll be fully healthy.
Yeah. If Joe Burrow's back, I've got Bengals winning this. If he's not back, That's tough. I might switch to Rams. But a fun little note. So the backup to Joe Burrow is Jake Browning. Jake Browning is one of my favorite quarterbacks that played for the Washington Huskies.
I remember you talking about him. Yeah, they were like winning tons of games when he was there.
University of Washington. He graduated from there. He did so good with the Huskies. I'm a huge Huskies fan. So Jake Browning, if Jake Browning comes out and starts this game, I'm rooting for him all the way. I don't think he's up there enough or has experience starting enough. I don't think he's ever started in the NFL. He's played preseason a whole bunch, but I don't think he's ever started. So I don't know if he has enough to beat the Rams.
Yeah.
But if Joe Burrow's in, I've got Bengals winning this. I think if Joe Burrow's in, I think this is where he's like snapping the losing streak, and this is where week 3 is where they take a dub.
Yeah, I'm sure I'm the one making the more hot take right now, but
yeah, Blitz Nation went Bengals. Blitz Nation went pretty safe on all their picks this week, I'd say.
Really?
Yeah.
I guess that's expected. Bunch of whammies. I'm just kidding.
I don't think the Blitz Nation had one single lone wolf pick this week, but I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure they didn't. But
okay.
You and I, we got some pretty ballsy picks in there. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I'm excited to see this outcome because there's some pretty good matchups. There's a couple very difficult games to predict, so we'll see how those turn out. And we've got a couple different picks between the two of us. So
yeah, you and I, we've got a few games that are different, so I'm excited to see the outcome for sure.
Absolutely, dude. Man, it's going to be a good week. I'm excited.
Yes. All right, guys, that wraps up our weekly Blitz picks. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Blitz Nation, for tuning into our Instagram and adding in your picks in there. Every Tuesday, as a reminder, we got our Blitz picks on our Instagram story. Go ahead and add in on the polls. You can add in your picks, your votes for the picks of that week every Tuesday. And we, as in us, me and Jordan, we're going to get better at marking down. Right now, I've got your picks marked down on who you guys picked to win. So next week, when we recap our picks, we will also do better at seeing how you guys did with your picks versus me and Jordan's picks. So we have those numbers, we have those calculations. So next week, we will do better going forward about seeing how you guys did in your picks versus us so that it's more interactive against Blitz Nation versus the Blitz Bros. How about that, Jordan?
I'm excited, man. I feel like we always do pretty well against Blitz, so
we'll see if Blitz Nation can beat us.
Put it to the test, right? Yeah, exactly.
Let's go.
All right, everyone. That concludes another fantastic episode of the Blitz Bros. We're so excited for this week to see how everything turns out. Thank you so much for joining us again. Thank you, Ryan, for being our master commander here on the Blitz Bros podcast and YouTube channel. For all those listening, feel free to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next week. Peace.